And no one is pushing faster and further in each one of these areas than OpenAI. To talk about where AI is headed and the work that we're doing together, I'm extremely happy to welcome the president and co-founder of OpenAI, Greg Brockman, to the stage.
ChatGPT is very much the overnight success that was.
This asshole right here is the one to fucking blame for all the RAM being this asshole right here. He's not an asshole for doing what he's doing, but he's an asshole to the consumers. I'm sorry to fucking say it.
Start to be really accelerated, whether it's developing novel math proofs. The first time we saw that was just a couple months ago, and the progress is continuing.
Look, I'm going to bring this up here. This is why I said this guy is an asshole. Look what it says here. I'm going to zoom this in just a little. OpenAI recent action has raised concern about the company influence on the memory market. Report indicate that OpenAI is allegedly hoarding the global memory supply and purchasing consumer DDI5 memory kit from retail locations. This strategy appears to aim at a depriving competitor and consumers of fast memory, leading to increased prices across various consumer tech segments, including GPU and SSD. This is why I said this guy's is the asshole behind all this price increase. So let's take it one step further. Let's go to Best Buy real quick. Let's do the DDI5, right? 32 gigs. 32 gigs was cheap as hell a couple of years ago. Oh, seriously, a couple of months ago. The 32 gig was not that bad. $200 something, dude. No. I put it this way. I would say by $200 on 64 gigs. I have 120. I have a 128 gigs on my system. I didn't spend no more than $400 or maybe $500, maybe $500, close to $500 with tax and shipping. On a 128. I have 128 on my system in memory, DDI5, and right now 64 is basically the price for the amount that I already have in my system. Some brands are more expensive than others. This is Crucial. Crucial is usually the cheapest one anyway. Let's look for which one is the one that I have for mine. Corsair. The one that I have is from Corsair. I think I'm spelling it correctly. Look at this 64. Look at this 64 from Corsair. But that's not the one that I got. I think they kind of discontinue the version of the one that I have. But this space is the one that I have is look like this one right here, the Dominator. Look at the Dominator. This is the one. This is exactly the version of Corsair that I got, the Dominator. This is a 232 64. The one that I have is basically 4 of these to give me the 128. It's this one right here. This 64, look how much it is right now. Right freaking now. What I bought this same, two of these, basically 4 sticks. They're 4 fucking sticks. And I have it on my system. But this one is the AMD and Intel. But anyway, 4 of these fucking sticks was half of this, maybe a little less. between 400 to close to $500. That is ridiculous. For 2 sticks, you paying that. If you want it all four, you pay $2,000. $2,000 for 4 sticks. Fucking crazy. Yes, he's a fucking asshole.
Now, I would say, I think every single time I see you, you tell me you need more compute.
It's true. It's true.
It's
I do
almost
get
like a
told that.
broken record. Like you could just, just play the Greg wants more compute. Can you talk about just some of the things that you're seeing in the infrastructure, some of the bottlenecks, and where do you think we should be focusing as an industry?
Well, the why do we need more compute is the most important question, right? Which is really when the models are not that capable, right? And where we were in 2015, 2016, 2017, so forth, is that you basically just wanted to train a model and evaluate it, right? And maybe there'd be a very narrow task it'd be useful for.
He's trying to justify
as
right
we've
now
made this
to us.
exponential progress on the model, right? That we actually see.
This is what I said. Right now they're buying all this stuff because, like you said, he need more compute power, more. So it's gonna get to the point that they're already gonna hit that ceiling, because we're gonna get to a point that all these companies, they are really pretty much investing into this really hard, and they're all gonna invest into it so they can hit the ceiling. So this way, now they're gonna concentrate on consumer. They have to where they need, and they don't need to invest or put as much resources into this side because they already hit the ceiling, and everything else they need is going to be done in the back end, if that makes sense. And then consumers now is going to be able to get what they need for cheaper price. Like I said, this is the memory stick I have. Literally, I have this memory stick. This version of this, I have it on my system. That version, I have it on my system. And look at the freaking price. For 2 sticks, I have 4. And for the 4 that I have on my system, I only spend like $400 to $500. Not to get the same 4 that I have, $2,000 is some change. Fuck you, Greg. That's what I'm gonna say. But I get what you're doing. I get it.
Just over the
But you didn't-
holidays,
but
one of my
it's-
coworkers, that her husband had, Fiji, our CEO of applications, who I work very closely with every day.
And this is one thing that I do. I'm okay with AI, especially when it has to do with the medical field. Don't get me wrong. If doctors can, because for example, I have an old school doctor, not now, but I did at one point. Every time I used to talk to him about what's going on with me, whatever, he would be like, I know what you're talking about, but let me take a quick look. He will pop a book, and he keep talking to me, and he will look at the book, he make the notes or whatever, and then as he's looking to his book, something, we will need to do X, Y, and Z treatment. And guess what? It worked out. But probably talking to ChatGPT, instead of him reaching to that book, he just put the information in the system. ChatGPT can analyze, give him information, he can pick and choose. Based on what I keep talking, he can kind of analyze that information and say, yeah, this is the right treatment over here. Thank you. ChatGPT will probably help him trying to get all the information that he needs to kind of make the right decision quicker.
He literally saved her life too, right? She was in the hospital for a kidney stone and had an infection. They're about to inject a antibiotic, and she said, wait just a moment. She asked ChatGPT whether that one was safe for her. ChatGPT, which has all of her medical history, said no, because you had this other infection 2 years ago that could re-trigger it, and that could actually be life-threatening as well. And so she showed it to the doctor. The doctor's like, wait, what? You had this condition? I didn't know. I only had 5 minutes to review your medical history.
Yes. I completely agree, Greg. I mean,
That's cool. This is where I believe that AI also should be a major thing. Is not just having the entire medical history, if you did had it on ChatGPT, for example, in this case, like he's mentioning, but it should be like a major universal medical record. Universal. They tried to do this whole my chart kind of thing, but imagine just adding like a ChatGPT AI as an example, some type of AI like ChatGPT that that you can put, for example, like in this case, can we, for based on condition, we trying to apply this medication, yada yada yada. Will this medication will be okay based on her medical history? And ChatGPT will look entire medical history from all the hospitals she's been in, instead of the doctor keep searching. It takes time for a human to do that, and ChatGPT can do it probably in seconds. Yeah, that would be an amazing thing to help out. I'm agreeing with those things. I just certain things I don't agree. For example, like taking people's jobs, like for example, like talking about like call centers, for example, like not only call centers but also like customer service. What I mean, customer service and call centers basically almost the same thing, but customer service, like when they need to talk to someone in person and kind of explain to them that human side of it. And sometimes, don't get me wrong, there's some some people that just assholes. They're just straight up fucking assholes. When you give them a call, they just give you a fucking attitude left and right. And sometimes I wish I would be able to talk to a fucking AI, because AI will be understandable, not understandable, but it will not give you that fucking attitude that you don't need. They will basically take your information, kind of give you the nice way to talk or whatever, and you'll be okay, whatever. And then trying to probably get in touch with someone who could help them out. That would be cool. But yeah, there's certain jobs that, like I said, customer service or whatever, they should not lose people there. You still need that human resource there, that human part of it, because there's a lot of things that I have done because I'm a person, because I used to work in customer service, that I have done in a hospital also, that I have done because there was this lady who needed her kid to be seen, and she was getting the runaround. I got her in like right next day, basically, right away. And thank God we did. If we waited at least a couple of days more or maybe a week more, it would have been major problem for that kid. But hopefully, if they can get an AI who that information to the right person right away, that would be awesome. But again, you need the people who can kind of analyze that situation quick. And don't get me wrong, I'm not doubting that ChatGPT will not be able to, but to get in touch with a doctor and pass that information, see what's up. But some doctors are lazy. But anyway, let's just go back.
I mean, that's one of the things that we can always, all of us can use a helper.
Yes.
And that's
Yeah.
really what we have here.
Yeah,
Look,
I do
I mean,
agree.
I think you've painted a vivid picture of why we need more compute, of what we can do with AI.
And I think we're moving to a world where GDP growth will itself be driven by the amount of compute that is available in a particular country, in a particular region. And I think that we're starting to see the first inklings of this. And I think over the next couple of years, we'll see it start to hit in a real way. And I think that AI is something where I think data centers can actually be very beneficial to local communities. I think that's a really important thing for us to really prove to people. But also the AI technology you produce, that is also something where, in terms of scientific advances, you think about what has been the most fundamental driver of increase of quality of life, right? It really is about science. And every time we've gone into specific domains, you just see how much limitation there is from how things are done, because that's just, there's a particular discipline that's
Eugene, talking about all that, imagine taking down a whole nation by just dropping a bomb or blowing up their data center. They have all the AI stuff on it. That's crazy and dangerous. Like, if I want to hit United States, I figure out exactly where is their main data center for the entire United States with all their AI stuff. Let's say one in Washington, for example, blow that building up. That building has to be in top-notch security. I don't know, build it on the ground. I just don't know where they will do it. It's just trying to keep it on the hush hush. But that information is gonna leak out eventually. Where is the place?
built with a bunch of expertise. There are a small number of
That would be
experts, and that it's hard for them to propagate that to future generations. For example, in biology, we hooked up GPT-5 to a wet lab setup and had humans described what the wet lab looked like to get the most benefit for everyone.
That is an incredible vision, Greg. We are so excited to be working with you. I think there's no question in the world that we have the power to really change people's lives. Thank you for the partnership, and really look forward to it.
Thank you.